Thank you both so much for joining me. Please introduce yourselves.
Sure. Hi, I'm Albert Jan. Everyone calls me Happy, so Happy it is. And I'm here with my dad.
Yeah, I'm Albert, and this is my son Albert Jan.
Tell me a bit about your involvement in the community as father-son, how you got brought into the community.
Oh, that's an actually really, really cool story. So I've been doing community work for the last 20 or so years. And I remember I was graduating and was doing a lot of PHP, so open source. And my dad was like, oh, you should really join me for this conference. Microsoft was running something in Brussels. It was the Educational Center, and they did something with the Managed Learning Gateway, a product built on SharePoint 27. And I was like, okay, I'll join. Sounds interesting. I joined for a 3-day course, was really, really interested. And I was like, okay, I should do this for the rest of my life. So I moved over to the Microsoft world and started doing SharePoint. And that's, I don't know, like 22, maybe 23 years ago now?
Yes, I started with SharePoint for 25 years, at the beginning of front page and now the cloud version. And we were in Brussels together. He was a little one, a small boy, I want to say. And he was sitting in the background of the car and he was focused on Linux in his educational schools. And I say, you have to come to Microsoft. And I think it's better than open source. And on the Moerdijkbrug, he was switched his mind and he said, oh yes, Dad, can I come to you and help you with Microsoft and front page and the beginning of the SharePoint, what's it right? SharePoint
Journey.
travel journey to what we now do are.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know you've been to many events together. Do you have
Yeah.
any favorite memories over these past few years being in the community together?
So I think for me, the first thing that we really did together was Brussels. Then we went to London for a few
Yeah.
trainings. So I think it was combined knowledge training.
Combined.
So InfoPad, SharePoint Designer, and it was like, that's 22 years ago. And then we had a lot of community events. And I think for me, the best memories was going together, having some of the parties, obviously. I mean, the parties are always fun. But learning new stuff, doing keynotes, getting inspired by all kinds of people, whether it's deeply technical content that you sometimes have in keynotes, to more the marketing side of things. And the last few years I've been doing a lot with the PMP community. And I would say it's awesome to be part of, I don't know, a big family where everyone is inspired around the technology side of things and want to bring the community farther. So building stuff, thinking, discussing new ideas, that's what's, at least for me, the most interesting part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think over the 25 years there are some highlights. From the Ignite a few years ago, we get a caricature in drawing from him and me as father-son selfie, but it was really nice. But the most important thing over all the years that we travel together and that we are a family, not only father-son, but also with you and other MVPs and in the community, and that we can talk in our private life also about the community, but also about the technical specs around Microsoft and the growing part like Teams, SharePoint on the productivity side, and Albert Jan on the Power Platform side. Dus sharing knowledge is caring for each other, and that I find it important, and I feel my behavior is so happy when I'm here. On the Ignite he was not there. I was there alone, but I was not alone. I see a lot of familiar faces, and the community is for me the most important thing besides the work and the progression Microsoft made.
Yeah, I definitely feel that from you both. Every time I see you, I'm always full of sunshine after some
Yeah.
interaction, so I always appreciate it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
give also energy, positive energy, and also when we come back, it's nice to make a new start after a conference. The last conference was Copilot, Agentic AI. It gives new impulse for work, but also in the discussions we have about our professional life.
Yeah. So we just had Ignite. What are some of the top releases, announcements that you're excited about, you see coming in Microsoft 365 in the next year?
I wasn't at Ignite, so this one is for you.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that for years they are talking about Copilot to prompt the right question to get the right answer. But now we are far away from that. We are to agentic AI, and they put agentic AI in every product, not only in Office but also in Teams. And I think that Teams, the next 1-2 years, totally transformed to a collaboration tool with AI. That was one of the keynotes yesterday in the afternoon. But the collaboration between colleagues or between students or between people with AI, that's more important now, I see also by Microsoft, than the individual use of Copilot and the promptathons.
Fantastic.
I really like the keynote here where Jeff made a point of we're at this phase where I think everyone, or at least most of the people coming here, are already using AI in one-on-one. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming we'll use Copilot to ask questions like, hey, can you help me with this? Or hey, can you research this? And we're now moving more where teams are involving Copilot in their meetings or in their collaborative work, not one-on-one, but one within a team, so
Yeah.
1 or 2 agents in a team. And at some point, we'll also move to having multiple agents work for you asynchronously, whether you're asking them to or whether they get triggered by other systems to research something for you. And I really like that vision. I think over the last years, we've seen a lot, like Copilot can help you answer questions like it is a search engine, and we're now moving more towards where AI can do certain things for you or for your team, not necessarily only searching for information, but also bringing information to you when you need it.
Sure. Do you have any recommendations for those teams? How to identify what should be brought over to agentic AI versus what should stay manual, in-person collaboration, conversations, and processes? How do you know what we're going to delegate to AI?
Oh, that actually is a good question. To be fair, it's something I struggle with.
Yeah.
Because AI can do a lot of things. There are a lot of things I can do as well. So what I try to do, at least when I build agents or build solutions, is that we all heard human in the loop, and it's important, and of course. But human in the loop not necessarily means randomly put a human to do something and say, oh, I put a human in the loop. And I'm not an expert on adoption, but what works for me is that I try to, when I envision a process, try to think of it either, is it a workflow process or is it more an agentic process? They're distinct things. And where can I actually make a difference? So where does my expertise come in, where I can make decisions based on information that the agent might retrieve for me, but I, in the end, am responsible for the output of the agent. So
Yeah.
either I have to come up with the prompt, or I have to come up with the controls, or I have to come up with the guardrails. And that's what, for me, human in the loops means. Does it mean that AI will take over my job? I don't think so. Not, at least not in the future. Maybe at some point. But what I hope is that AI will take away some of the tedious work that I have to do, like look up in multiple systems, multiple details. How about AI reaches out to the systems for me and then provides me with an interface saying, okay, I found this information, you can make the decision. How about I let AI structure that information in a way that I can make a decision easier? That's what I hope that AI will bring me, and that's what I try to focus on when I build agents.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that when agentic AI in teams, like a conversational agent, can help in sessions, not to take over my job, but more that I need my intelligence to interpret what the outcome is of the agent and sharing with the collaboration people in meetings. And that I learned this morning also in the keynote, that intelligence is very important. And on the Ignite was it also intelligence work, workforce, and not only for people individual, but that your intelligence share with other people, with their intelligence, and that the outcome then is useful for companies or schools of customers.
I love that focus that you both shared on focusing on your subject matter expertise and how you can hold AI accountable, essentially. It's a really fantastic recommendation.
Yeah.
What's the top mistake you still see organizations making?
Starting at technology, we have three words we use together. You start with the humans, and then you look to governance, and then you implement and make the implementation of technology. But a lot of customers and clients in my area are starting with technology first, and they forgot the users and they forgot the guidelines.
It's fantastic advice.
Yeah. I exactly see the same. The thing is, technology is probably the easiest part. It's turning on. So let's say Copilot. I can buy a license, I can turn it on. But just turning on Copilot is not going to solve a business problem. It will give tools to users, which is fine. And there might be users who thrive on getting a new tool and experimenting with it. But if it's one user that's tech savvy that will use Copilot or whatever agent you will build. But if he uses it, which is fine. But how are you going to make sure that other people in the organization are using it? And how are you making sure that you have the controls in place? At Ignite, they announced Agent 365, so the control plane. I really love that. I'm not an expert on governance, but I do believe that you need to have insights in how many agents are running and what are they doing, what access do they have, what data can they retrieve to make sure that you're not building the problems that we had with SharePoint site sprawl or SharePoint team sprawl. I mean, we've all been there. What's next? Agent sprawl? Probably if you don't make sure that you have your controls in place.
Yeah, seems really similar to what we were going through a couple years ago with empowering our citizen developers and makers when we were having Power Platform. So a lot of those same better practices you referenced that are still in place, even though it's new technology.
Yeah.
The system of adoption and implementation is in the Power Platform, but it's also in SharePoint for years and years. And you see the same behavior and the same systematic and processing around Copilot, individual, but also for Copilot for collaboration in teams. And we can learn about that kind of adoption cycles and maturity models to help people use it in the right way and in the responsible way.
Absolutely. Now, you're not just speakers at events and attending, being part of community. Tell me a bit about how you build community in your local areas. Do you have any events there?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm part of the DBUG and I'm part of the Power Addicts, Dutch local user groups that have an event every month, and we focus either on the M365 side of things or the Power Platform side of things. What we try to do is we try to bring speakers who built something, experienced something, clients that implemented something, and have them share their journey or their experiences with a local user group. That's really awesome to see. You see all kinds of solutions, deep technical to adoption. So it's really cool to be part of those user groups. And we have a one-year event, the Collab Days Netherlands, where once a year we organize a somewhat bigger event. It's a full day Saturday, and I would say it's awesome.
My focus area is and was on education, and I've run a lot network from, I think, 125,000 key decision makers from schools. They come 4 year together in Utrecht, and we inspire them and learn them the new tools to use it, but also to take it over to the teams in schools of teachers and also to students. And now I do a lot of organizations helping to make the move on the cloud, from on-prem also to cloud environments, and then to use it in the right way. And in that process, I want to do it by step, and then Copilot is incoming, and everybody say, "Oh, I want Copilot, and I want a Copilot license." And I try to give in advice and consulting in communities, do it responsible, and do you know what you have on tools and what it gives you to the work. And also for younger children, they use Copilot for everything, for arithmetic, for grammar, for English, for language, for history. And I think that's not good that children they do, and I try to do it on a responsible way in the environment of the education sector.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining me today and for everything that you do for the community. It's my pleasure to always collaborate with you both as well.
Well, it's been wonderful catching up again.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you
Thank you
both.
very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.